Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to calculate numbers on a rental property. You can use this formula so easy and so fast, and for any property you're looking at, it's so straightforward. So I'm using an actual rental property as an example. It has a purchase price $100,000 in rent, and always verify this before you buy any property verified with property managers or just verify it. This particular house gives $1,075 a rent. This house is in Indianapolis. It was built in 2002, I think. Super cute little house, 3-bedroom, 2 baths. But all we care about right now is the numbers. So I'm looking at this property, and what do I want to take into consideration? So I write out my list of things that I need numbers for. First, taxes, insurance. I always make an estimate for vacancies and repairs, which I'll touch base on in a second. And then for me, I always use property management, so I have that one. That may be optional for sure. You're going to have taxes and insurance. Vacancy repairs are really up for your best guess. I buy turnkeys, so they're already rehabbed. So I just use 7% for vacancies, which you can look up the statistics of a particular city, see if that number is about right, and for repairs, like I said, fully rehabbed. So I just do 5% for repairs. So if you calculate this particular house, the taxes per month, and this is all monthly, the taxes are about $60 a month, which is excellent. Insurance on this property is about $45, 7% vacancy. And those percentages are of the monthly rent. So 7% of that is going to be $75. Repairs are going to be 5%, which is $54. And the property management in this case is 10%. Should have put that there, and that would be $108. So total all those of these are going to be your expenses. Grand total $342 for monthly expenses. Now here's your income. $1075. Rent. Here's your expenses. So do $1075 minus $342. And if you buy this property for all cash, in theory per month you should be getting $733, and that is cash flow in your pocket per month. Now to calculate your cash rate, you are going to do $733 times 12 because you want to annually. And the total amount that you paid for this house was $100,000, which is going to equal the calculations. 8796 divided by 100,000. You're going to get 0.088, which equals an 8.8%. This is your cap rate. Okay, that is the main number that's going to explain to you kind of where the income is in relation to how much you paid for the property. Alright, so you're already asking, well, what if I'm financing because I got a mortgage? Okay, not a problem. So let's raise the stuff. You already know your expenses are going to get rid of this section. Believe that $342 for total expenses. So how do you deal with the mortgage? Well, $342 was your total expenses without a mortgage. So all you need to do now is figure out what your mortgage payment per month is going to be. So go online, find any old mortgage online calculator, plug in the numbers and see what your payments are going to be for this one. I use 5% interest rate, and with 20% down payment, which is standard for an investment property, you're going to have a loan of $80,000. That's an $80K loan. And your mortgage payment, a 5% interest rate, is going to be $429 per month. So since the total expenses were $342 already, and just add those to $429, this will be your new expenses. $1075 minus $771 is going to give you $304 per month. This is your new net income after the mortgage payment. So on this house, you're still bringing home $304 per month, which is ridiculous for a rental property. That's amazing. That's $300 easy in your pocket per month. So the only thing you can do other than this is you already have your cap right now. You want to calculate your cash-on-cash return, which ultimately for any purchase is all that matters. Cap rates only explain whether you're getting good price for the property or not. Your cash-on-cash is actually how much you're making based on how much money you put into the deal. So therefore, we're going to make it annual. So times 12. And then instead of using your total purchase price, you want to put how much money you actually put into the deal. So your down payment on the $100,000 house was probably $20,000. And I went ahead and rounded that up to $25,000 because you're probably going to have about $5,000 in closing costs. So that's going to give you 3648 divided by 25,000 equals 0.1459. Change that to a percentage. And you are looking at a 14.6% cash-on-cash return. That is the number that you care about. If you're paying all cash for the property, all you care about this 8.8 because your cap rate and your cash on cash will be exactly the same for an all cash buy but for a finance buy. And this explains perfectly why I'm such a fan of leveraging money as much as possible. You're making almost 15% return on your money, on your actual cash that you invest. That's amazing. And with real estate prices gone up, how they have to be able to make a 15% cash on cash is great. This is a fully rehabbed house. Tenants or property managers are in place to only work. It took was for you to sign the papers and get a home inspection and boom, there's your numbers. So, a very quick summary. So, step 1, calculate your expenses. And as a recap, that's going to be your taxes, insurance, property management fees, and estimate for vacancy and repairs. And then if you have the mortgage expenses, you already know your income. So take your income minus your expenses, and that will equal your net cash flow. Don't ever buy a property that does not tell you that you're going to get a positive. We'll see. What did I say? Don't ever buy a property that suggests you're going to make a negative cash flow. You always want positive. Calculate the cap rate, which is your net income times 12 divided by purchase price. And then if you're financing, calculate your cash. I'll read it out on cash, which is your net with the financing times 12 divided by your cash in. And as a clarification point, the cap rate does not include any financing costs. So your mortgage expense is not included in the expenses, and it has nothing to do with the equation. That is, standard cap rates do not include financing. It's assuming an all-cash purchase because whether you finance or not, I like to say, is your own problem. It has nothing to do with the purchase price. What matters for you financiers is the cash on cash, which does in fact take into account the mortgage expense, and that will calculate your official return. Alright, that's easy. Rental property numbers, another one last disclaimer. This does not include rehabs. If you're rehabbing a property, you have got to include those costs, and these equations, and it takes a couple extra steps. Still not a big deal, but in general formula for you. And I hope it helps. Alright,